A Day in the Life of a Firefighter by Deanna Herwick. On the way. The fire truck cries as it races down the street. Everyone clear the road! The firefighters are coming to put out a fire. They are the heroes of the day. Bucket Brigade. The first fire trucks in the 1600s were made of tubs on long poles, wheels, or sled runners. Firefighters put out fires by using a bucket brigade. They lined up, filled buckets from the tub, and passed the buckets along the line. The last person in line threw the water on the fire. Getting ready. Firefighters are very busy. They can be called to a fire at any time of the day or night. They must be ready at all times in case of an emergency. Some firefighters live part of the time at the fire station. They pack their things, leave their families at home, and go to the fire station. They have beds, bathrooms, and a kitchen there. They also have rooms for relaxing. If there is no fire, they will get to sleep at night. When they are settled at the station, they check the equipment and the fire trucks. They check the nozzles on the hoses to be sure they are clear and working. They check the engine to be sure there is enough gas, oil, and air in the tires. This firefighter is checking the gauges on the fire truck. Hard work. Many firefighters work for 24 hours at a time. They go home for 48 hours and then it's back for another 24-hour shift. Other firefighters work long hours but sleep at home each night. Most firefighters work more hours each week than other people in other jobs do. They work on many weekends and holidays too. Fires can start at any time. A firefighter's day. A firefighter's day might look something like this. 7 a.m., wake up, eat breakfast, and head to the fire station. 8 a.m., arrive at the station. 8:30, check and clean the station and equipment. 11 o'clock, do a safety presentation at an elementary school. 12 o'clock, eat lunch at the station. 1 o'clock, check for fire safety at a local restaurant. 1:30, do training exercises. 3:30, call to fire emergency. 5:30, back to the station, clean and check the equipment. 6:30, take a shower. 7 o'clock, eat dinner and relax. 10 p.m., go to bed and be ready if another call comes in. A busy day. There are many different emergencies besides fires. Sometimes firefighters are called to help people in medical emergencies. Sometimes they rescue people who are trapped or in danger. Other times they clear areas near fires or other disasters. They help people after earthquakes, terrible storms, and crashes. And they spend many hours working to prevent fires from starting. Training. On some days, the firefighters go to a training site. Both new and experienced firefighters practice their firefighting skills. They need to be able to do their jobs quickly and safely. A firefighter teaches fire safety to elementary school children. Fire safety. In schools, the firefighters tell students to plan and practice evacuation routes at home with their families. They say, get low to the ground if there is smoke. Get out as quickly as you can. Meet your family members in a safe place outside. Firefighters are almost always working, even if there are no fires. They go to schools to teach about fire safety. They study to be sure they are the best at their jobs. They practice putting out fires too, so they are ready when a fire comes. And here's some firefighting history. 24 BC, a very long time ago, Roman Emperor Augustus makes laws for checking and preventing fires and pays the first firefighters. About 1500, the first fire pump is used. In 1648, the first public fire department is formed in New Amsterdam, now New York. All volunteer, which means they did not get paid for their service. 1678, leather hoses and couplings for joining hoses together are used for the first time. In 1676, the first fire engine is used in the United States. In 1725, the 10-person water pump is invented for putting out fires. And in 1818, the first woman firefighter, Molly Williams, is an African American in New York, held under slavery. Firefighters help businesses keep their fire safety equipment in good working order. Firefighters check fire safety in local businesses too. They check their fire exits, fire extinguishers, and sprinklers. Firefighters need to be sure that businesses are safe for both workers and customers. Oxygen, heat, fuel. Putting out fire. To put out a fire, firefighters remove at least one of the three elements that make a fire: fuel, heat, and oxygen. For example, they can smother fire with a special foam so oxygen can't reach it. Or firefighters can do something to keep these things from getting together, such as clearing away dry brush so it won't become fire fuel. 1829, the first steam fire engine is invented in England. In 1830, modern standards are set in Edinburgh, Scotland for fighting fires. In 1860, the fire hose reel is invented to keep hoses stored, untangled, and easy to unwind during a fire. In 1863, the fire extinguisher is invented. In 1870, the first cotton and rubber hoses are used to put out fires. In 1872, automatic sprinklers are invented to put out fires inside large buildings, and in 1878, the firehouse pole is invented, allowing firefighters quickly to get to their engines. When they go back to the station, firefighters take turns making their meals and doing the household chores. Firefighters share their meals together at the fire station. Sometimes firefighters give tours of the fire station. People learn about firefighting. They see where firefighters eat and sleep. The firefighters show the equipment in the station and on the trucks. They might even show how the sirens work. Running errands. Have you ever seen a fire truck parked at a supermarket? The firefighters are there shopping for groceries for their firehouse. They take the fire truck in case they have an emergency call. Every second counts in an emergency. This firefighter is showing a school group how the fire equipment is used. And to continue our timeline, in 1878, the fire ladder is invented to reach fires high in buildings. In 1890, the fire escape ladder is invented. In 1910, the first gasoline-powered fire engine, with gasoline also powering the pump, is invented. In the 1940s, foam is used for the first time to put out fires. In 1945, Smokey Bear is introduced as a symbol of forest fire prevention. 1950s, the air horn is introduced to sound alarms. And in 1974, the first paid female firefighter, Judith Livers, is hired in Virginia. Fighting fires. When an emergency call comes in, firefighters must be dressed and in the fire truck quickly. They stop whatever they're doing. They put their protective gear over their clothes. First, they step into their boots. Their steel-toed fire boots here, and pull up their bunker gear or pants. Their boots are made of rubber and have steel toes. This protects them from nails, glass, and anything falling on their feet. Firefighters keep their protective pants rolled over their boots to save time in an emergency, so that they can quickly pull up all of their gear, then put on their fire helmet, their coat, and their gloves. Next, they put on their jackets. Their clothes are flame retardant. This reduces the heat in the fire and protects them from burns. They put on their hats. They are made of hard plastic. This protects their heads when things fall during a fire. Heavy. When they are fighting fires, firefighters wear almost 100 pounds of protective gear. And 911. In most areas of the United States, you can call 911 on the telephone when there's an emergency. The operator will contact the fire department for you. Here's a picture of what's called the jump seat. And here, firefighters wear their gear while driving to an emergency. They will be ready to work when they arrive. The firefighters hop on the fire truck and rush to the fire. They turn on the siren and the red lights. The air horn sounds to warn cars to get out of the way. The engineer drives and the captain rides up front. The firefighters ride in the back in the jump seat. What we saw here. When they get to the fire, firefighters put on special air tanks and breathing masks. This helps them breathe through smoke and fire. Then they hook big hoses from their fire truck to a fire hydrant. Two firefighters hold each hose. Sometimes they need tall ladders to get to the fire. The truck carries ladders of all sizes. Powerful. Water comes out of the fire hose so fast and hard it can knock down a grown man. That's why it takes two to hold a hose steady. When they go inside a burning building, firefighters work in a buddy system. Two firefighters stay together at all times. Their protective clothing may make them feel safer than they are. They can't feel the heat through their gear. They can't keep their eyes on everything all by themselves, so they protect each other. They also have radios in their helmets so they can talk to the chief. The chief works to keep everyone safe. The wet stuff. Before going into a fire, firefighters sometimes say, "Let's put the wet stuff on the red stuff." Fire axe. The fire axe is one of the first pieces of firefighting equipment ever used. It is used to cut wood fuel so fire doesn't spread. It can also cut openings in doors and walls to let smoke and heat escape from burning buildings. Today, electric saws can be used for this as well. Firefighters try to rescue animals too. Some firefighters search the building to make sure there are no people or animals inside. Their number one job is rescue. They put the fire out and try to save as much property as they can. Sometimes they need to use tools like axes and electric saws. Oops. When the fire is out and the building is safe, they let people know when and if they can re-enter. The firefighters pick up their things and head back to the station. Home at last. Back at the station, it's time to clean. The firefighters clean and check the equipment once again. They even clean the hoses. They need to clean themselves too. They must be ready in case there is another emergency. Finally, they eat and relax if there is time before bed. If the alarm sounds, they'll have to rush out again. A firefighter's day is never really done. Here is our glossary with the definitions of each of those vocabulary words. And our index so we can find specific information in alphabetical order, and the page number where that information is located, another list in alphabetical order of our important vocabulary, and a little about the author section.